How's it going, everybody? So my name is Yanni K, and today we're going to go over a little sweep picking tutorial. Sweep picking is awesome. It's a great way to spice up any solo that you're doing or just to show off. Now we're going to go over just some basic shapes, like the 3-string sweep and the 5-string sweep. We're going to go over the motion, the kind of pattern you should use when you're strumming the guitar. We're going to do some tricks just to kind of show you a little bit more you can do, and I'm also going to give you just a couple examples just so you can see some cool stuff that people do with it. So let's get to it. So first things first is you're going to want to be warmed up. Anytime you go to sweep and you're not warmed up, sometimes your fingers just lock up while you're doing the motion, like you'll miss things, and you don't want that. So first thing to do is warm up. One warm up I like to do is I just play songs that I know. I play a solo that I know how to play, and I just play until I feel really comfortable with how it sounds, and I feel literally warmed up. Like my fingers are cold before I play, and then once I play, they feel not so cold. One warm up I like to do is it's just a chromatic run. The guitar's in drop C sharp, by the way, so it's gonna sound a little different, but it's literally just 1, 2, 3, 4 on all the strings, ascending and descending, and alternate picking. You just do that up and down the fretboard as many times as you want, and you get nice and warmed up. So once you're all warmed up with sweep picking, there's a couple different shapes that I like to use. I don't know what the shapes are called. I just call them the 3-string sweep and the 5-string sweep. But basically, the easiest one to learn to kind of get to know what you're doing and get used to the picking pattern is this is a 3-string. And then the 5-string is. Now, when you're sweep picking, the first thing you should do when you're trying to learn is get used to the idea of just individually picking each. You're not alternate picking. You're individually sweeping through each string. So for the 3-string, it would just be a down. You'd start with a down on the G string and then once you get to the top, you would switch to upstroke. So just until you're comfortable doing it, until you get used to it. You don't have to spend forever on it, but it's just good to get familiar with that. And with the 5-string, you would do the same thing, just more strings. And once you do that, you're in a lot better shape. With sweep picking, one tip that always worked for me is you always want to flick up to your neck pickup when you're doing sweeping, because if you do it on the bridge pickup, it sounds good, like, or even, but there's something about it's a little more fluid sounding if you do it on the neck pickup, like. So I would always recommend using the neck pickup for when you do a sweep. Now let's start. We'll do slowly. We'll start with the 3-string. When I learned how to sweep, this is the first one that I learned, and I sat down and just practiced it for hours. Eventually, I got it. Obviously, one of the harder parts of sweep picking is coordinating your left hand with your right when you're doing the motion, because your fingers have to move at the same speed, but also they're doing completely different things. So with the 3-string, if you want to just look closely, it's basically just. And I'd recommend getting yourself a metronome. So just, you go slowly, you move it up, and eventually you do. And before you know it, like that. So that's the easiest thing. You can move it around. So that's 3-string. Once you get it down, then I recommend starting with that. Then you can move on to more like the 5-string. So another thing to keep in mind is when you're doing a hammer-on, like, or a pull-off in this case, you also have to be ready to not strum the other strings, and that comes with practicing. That comes together when you practice your coordination. So like, basically you don't pick when you get to that, And then with the 5-string, it's similar. So this is what a 5-string looks like slowly. See if I can make it so you can see what notes I'm hitting. So you're just going to want to, again, same thing. You're going to use the metronome. Whoops. Until you get comfortable. But over time, you'll get faster. Obviously, the more defined your notes are, each one that you hit, the better you've gotten at sweep picking. You can move that around. A little sloppy, but you get the idea. You can move around. Just excuse, I'm not as warmed up as I could be. Now, you can always add stuff to it. Some people like to add like a tap to it. Now that's with time. You'll blow someone away if you could sweep pick, but if you could sweep pick and then tap, that's even cooler. So, of course, if you're a metal guitarist or a jazz guitarist, whatever kind of guitarist you are that likes to do sweep picking, you want to sound and look cool while you're doing it, of course. Now, just some examples. There is an intro to a song that I love. And at the very end of the intro, right before it goes into the riff, there is a sweep picking riff. And it's it's like that. And people always love a good sweep. But yeah, so that's basically sweep picking. Use the metronome, warm up, and just get used to the motions, get used to the shapes, get used to coordinating your right hand and your left hand, and there's no reason you can't do it. It's a really fun thing to use. You could throw it in any solo, no matter what it sounds like, and make it sound a lot cooler. So that's sweep picking. Please subscribe. Come follow me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/IANNIKAY99. And we can hang out. We can talk guitar. We can play some songs. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.